Hello and welcome back to our Kabbalah class. This is your host, David Walkenfeld. I think it's been about a year since I did that last tape, and I guess I underestimated the response that I would receive from you, you being all the viewers. Basically, you inspired me to continue the series, to meet your demands, which I assume are very serious and which I certainly value very much. You see me kind of looking away from the screen here and there, A, because I have notes I want to use in our discussion today, and B, just because I'm kind of doing this impromptu. One of the main reasons I haven't done the videos in so long was just due to time constraints, basically work. But I want to set aside a few minutes here and see if we could, get this thing going again for you. Because like I said, I value your feedback. I value you, even though I may have not met you before. Certainly you are valued. That's why you're here. God values you. And by extension, I value you, and I want to share what knowledge I, have accumulated, and certainly it's an ongoing process. As much as I may be a teacher, I am myself a student, of course, and I just want to share the wealth. I mean, it's Kabbalah, Torah True Kabbalah is a beautiful thing, and I want to share it with you. So I checked out my last video, and I know I said we would discuss the Kabbalistic method of contemplation, so I guess we should begin there. There is just one little introductory remark I want to give. It may take me 3 minutes to give it, but it is very important. I know in our last class we discussed the 10 attributes, or the 10 spheros, or perhaps a more accurate definition would be, the 10 main ways that God chooses to express himself in his relationship to us at this time. Certainly he's not limited to these 10, and certainly he can do whatever he wants. And they're not something separate from him or that define him, kind of like, a chocolate cake is made up of, let's say, sugar, chocolate, and, whatever else goes into it, and presto, you got an instant cake, right? It's not like you could say, here are these 10 attributes and you got instant God, It's just ways he's choosing for reasons known to him to express himself towards us at this time. So that actually ties into the introductory remarks I want to make. And that is that first we have to understand these attributes, as we said, more as expressions and not as attributes. Many times from the books I've seen out there on Kabbalah, or from the works I've seen online, or from the conversations I've had with people about Kabbalah, basically they view these 10 attributes as entities unto themselves, or as like magical powers that God possesses, and they almost take a life of their own in discussions amongst people. And unfortunately, I feel that, but according to Torah True Kabbalah, not only is that a mistake, that's actually the mistake that people make in this study. It's not like they're bad people or anything like that, heaven forbid. It's an honest mistake. Just at a cursory view, if a person kind of delves into or dives into these discussions about these attributes without the proper introduction, they believe that basically Kabbalah describes some sort of system, quote-unquote, and that basically there's like this, mystical framework kind of underlying our reality, which, has certain merits to it, but in its own right is completely the opposite of the goal of Kabbalistic meditation, namely to understand the world as an increasingly particular expression of God's self and not as something separate from him. So I know, I guess early in the morning here, I kind of have a funnier attitude than I did before, perhaps. Now that I think it through, I was not smiling as much as I was before, but whatever. Here you get like the more raw cut, I guess you could say. Hopefully you'll appreciate it. At least by me, sincerity has always ranked kind of high up there. All right, so we'll stop here. I see from the little timer on my iPhone here, which I'm using, that it's been about 5 minutes. I think that's the YouTube cutoff point. And we'll kind of give the introduction, I guess, in the next tape then. And then the tape after that, kind of dive into that Kabbalistic method of contemplation. So thank you for your time and enjoy.